Go.
Hello and welcome back to the Jumpcast. We are on episode, 26? Um, yeah, I don't know where else to go from here. Let's, a very exciting chapter. It's finally what I wanted.
I
Ooh,
hope
okay.
our predictions were right for once.
Yes, it just took another 5 chapters to get there, but we finally got to it. Um, so yeah,
Yeah?
uh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
I think we should start, Nick. Can you right before the podcast we were all talking about um well we were discussing it and Nick, you had a pretty good theory that I think you should repeat.
Oh yeah, with the okay.
For the masses.
So in this chapter we clearly see that what is it? There are 4 special barriers that Tengen helped control that now Kenjaku has in his whole plan and setup so far is that he's made it so that you can't add in anyone else to the culling game. And so then I think that his big idea is that he was banking on getting Tengen and then glitching out the system so that because now at the end of it they're talking about unsealing Gojo and actually getting to it. He got to the point that like no matter what the culling game will continue because Gojo can't interrupt it because he can't even enter the culling game.
Right.
So I that just came to me the second that I was getting coffee. And I was like, oh, this makes so much sense because like now he really can't interrupt anything, and now Kenjaku's plan can be fulfilled.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where this plays out after this. I'm really curious to see if like how Yuji is gonna end up. I guess I don't know, because I guess the plan for them is still to release Gojo, and if they do, my initial thought after you told us that theory was that maybe there's gonna be some kind of weird way that Gojo forces his way in.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't know how he would do that because all the barriers are inside the culling game's grounds, are they not?
yeah, and well, like what is it? Gojo can break barriers. We've seen that happen with the the exchange event because they had that barrier with the stipulation that literally only Gojo couldn't enter it, and he broke the barrier.
Right.
But this is also like Tengen's barriers now, which is on a whole different level.
Hmm.
Like the only way that I could think of him doing that and breaking the culling game is like from the outside, destroying one of these like quote unquote pure barriers. Like like he would just have to go to the Tomb of the Star Corridor and just blast hollow purples into it, hoping that he would hit one of the seals, but like we don't even know if he'd be able to achieve that.
Right, that's the thing. So I bet there's going to be some kind of communication. I think the key here moving forward for, I guess, I'm just going to say the protagonist. That's that's the easiest way to say it. Is they're probably going to be utilizing the motherfuckers with heavenly restriction.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like, because that I'm assuming since the rules already don't apply to them, that rule also isn't going to apply to them.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that's probably the key here moving forward for everybody in terms of actually stopping the merger.
Yeah, Maki just has to like break certain things.
Mhm.
Which I think is really interesting. I think it's a really good way that Gege wrote that to make, and again, I could be wrong, but it could make Gojo's like power, like of being the strongest, still mute again while still having him there.
Right.
And it still gives the satisfaction that they did open up the prison realm and got him out while still not making him the most powerful character in the verse because he can't do anything. So yeah. Bruden, what did you think of this chapter?
Oh, I really liked it. The barrier stuff has been kind of confusing to me. All the different names, but it was kind of cool to see like the mummified version of Sukuna.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were
Yeah.
saying that that or Kenjaku is where the other 5 fingers are, and that's why he wants to bring it as like a quote-unquote souvenir.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
And then there's one other thing. I know this is cementing that like Kenjaku is becoming like one of my favorite villains because he's just like the game he created. He's just breaking it himself. You know, he's like, well, I'll add the rules or do this, and they're like, oh. And then it's nice to see everyone kind of come back together. I'm really excited to see Hikari and Takava. I really hope they get like an interaction other than that like one panel at the very end, because I think, or just I guess everyone interacting with each other, because they probably all met up before the Culling Games, but actually them meeting in, because like Inumaki's back in action, we have Baby Panda and everything, and Miwa's still useless, you know, we got the crew, but and Yuji is not, he still has cursed energy, and it seemed like they were implying and that he ate the other death paintings moves in some way.
Oh, were they implying that?
I saw on Twitter, but like maybe it's like, hey,
It's when he talks to Choso and he says, what is it? Like, thanks, no problem. It's like, no, I mean about your brothers. Which is funny because the fan translation says our brothers. So, like, this is also like a big fan translation to like official translation thing.
yeah, because there's
Right,
something else I was gonna touch on that, like, where translations were different and was kind of confusing. But, excuse me. So maybe that's also how they're gonna get away for Yuji to bolster his cursed energy. Now that he doesn't have Sukuna and build up, because he was already with Sukuna, resisted to like curses and poison and stuff, and maybe him consuming these other ones will kind of build on top of that or something, and then
Yeah, like build a deeper well of cursed energy to use.
yeah, and
Maybe not give him a curse technique, but still.
yeah, dude, just make him like Yuta, just like a bottomless well of cursed energy, just but with no technique. So just
Yeah.
keep throwing divergent fists and black lashes or something.
Yeah.
And then where was and then I think I didn't see the fan translations for it, but apparently there was a translation error with like Shoko's thing at the end.
Do you mean like, oh yeah, where it says like I was in love with one of you?
Yeah.
That's something that would have never happened. Yeah, because they said like I would never fall in love with you, even if the world turned upside down.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know. But that's just something I heard. So I
it's a weird monologue, but
Who was saying that? That really confused me.
Shoko, the nurse, she was just basically saying, like, look at all of these kids that you've taught and raised. They're here waiting for you. Like, get the fuck out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I'm assuming that when she says I was in love with one of you, I think that insinuates that it's not even that she like loves them in like a romantic way. It's just that like she wants Gojo out to fix all this shit.
Right.
So yeah.
She wants a cop out.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah.
cool to see Shoko kind of become like more of a main character, because we saw her during, you know, all the other stuff, and then Shibuya, she was kind of just there. It's kind of cool to actually have her as like, I guess kind of like a main, coming more into in like a main character role, I guess. I'm I'm excited to see where that goes. Because I think it'd be really interesting to see, because you know she doesn't really fight, but it'd be cool to kind of see her use her reverse curse technique stuff in an offensive way instead of more of like a healing. Because we've seen Yuta use it before. And, you know, he's probably pretty knowledgeable in it, but he's kind of just using reverse curse technique. It's someone that's like, I guess, like a master.
Like,
who knows that's like the only thing they know how to do. I don't know, not only thing.
Yeah,
but
well,
really
like,
how they know
what
how
is
to
it?
do.
Shoko is like what is it? Yuta could definitely heal people well. Like for example, like he could like heal Hikari's arm, but like Shoko is the one that like could deal with Maki's burns in Inumaki's like first
Mm-hmm.
wound arm. Like you know how like it was destroyed and they had to cover it with seals. Like
Yeah.
Shogo's the only one that would have known how to take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We even forgot to mention one really big thing, which was like I guess it wasn't fully confirmed, but kind of. There were a bunch of theories back when Yuki and Kenjaku were fighting that Tengen was actually going to be the game master, and it actually kind of turns out that he was.
Mm-hmm.
He was the closest thing to the game master, so that's really interesting that that kind of got confirmed, but not really. He probably didn't know.
No,
I
he
just find
for
that
sure.
interesting.
Yeah, he for sure didn't know. I
It's,
find it also fascinating that I mean it makes sense, but it's interesting that like Kenjaku is speaking with Tengen, like as a separate entity walking beside him.
yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
it goes back to that friend stuff, like when it's just
Yeah.
um, like when they reunite and he said something old friend. So
Yeah.
he like he gives him a little bit of respect, like as if he would let Jogo keep his mind, uh, like when you because what is it? He wanted to absorb Jogo and Mahito. Like I don't think that he kept their personalities. He just wanted their curse techniques. But Tengen is like special,
Right.
and I guess that maybe he could even have to keep him in like that sort of like conscious state in order to keep the barriers up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
That's
So
interesting
yeah.
though. Well, then I wonder if Tengen has any form of resistance while he's been assimilated, or is he just now completely a part of Kenjaku?
He's completely a part of
Yeah.
Kenjaku. I think that's with the eyes. Um, I mean, he would have had resistance if he had actually fused with a star plasma vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, instead of being a little bitch. Um, the other big translation thing that was uh wrong was also the book that Choso gave Yuji, which was the records of soul research, because everyone in the fan translation said it was a book about the back of the prison realm, which it is somewhat, but it
Mm-hmm.
focuses mainly on the soul, which I think that's what Yuji is now reading and trying to figure out how to get Megami out of Sukuna.
Because
Um,
it's gonna be very hard for them to get Sukuna to get them to go apart from each other if after killing his own
What happened
sister.
last
Yeah.
chapter? Yeah.
So, but yeah, no.
Um, I like also what is it, Maki and Ui Ui.
mhm.
Like having that conversation about um like, okay, so we just need to defeat Kenjaku and Sukuna. It's like you make that sound easy, my man.
Yeah.
It's like killing Gojo.
Well, I think it's kind of I think it could be poking fun at how us as the audience like, oh yeah, just unseal Gojo. Okay, well, you know,
That
where it's
won't be
so
it
yeah,
anymore.
where it's so easy, like that
Mhm.
kind of mentality where they're like, okay, well, like, but yeah, no, I think it'd be pretty interesting to see where they go
Mhm.
from here, and especially since they've assembled such like a large group.
Mhm.
Um, I know we've talked about. I would really like a quick training arc, or maybe some stuff about Yuji reading into it, and if he does have a innate technique or something, kind of hinting
Yeah.
at him figure, like, even if it's just like one panel of him being like having like a realization reading it or something.
Yeah.
But I think maybe for him to develop, if he has an innate technique for it to come out, I think this would work as a really good like story wise, but he would need to speak with, or not speak with, but understand, I guess, where he came from. Because his
Yeah.
grandpa literally said, "I'll tell you about your parents." Like, no, I'm good. Like,
Yeah, I
don't
don't
worry
want to
about
hear
it.
about them.
So I think it'd
Yeah.
be real. I think for him to, I think maybe for him to unlock that innate technique, he would need to start, other than just being a vessel for Sukuna, he needs to accept who he is and where he came from, kind of
Right.
deal.
Yeah. I think another thing to help boost Yuji is that I think that like he needs, if Gojo gets unsealed, I want to see Gojo coach Yuji and tell him like it's okay to kill people. I mean, like saying that is a bland statement sounds really weird, but just like you need to let go of this fact of just like killing curses constantly. Like they're you can't keep the world like as black and white as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like you need to push beyond those boundaries, and like that's what gets Yuji to like free up his mind, get like the mental amp to like go beyond that.
Because people will die if he doesn't. So
Exactly.
People have
pretty
already
important.
been dying.
yeah,
Been
exactly.
Yeah.
pushing it off. So, I think, yeah, I think if we want to see like Yuji get a power up, we don't need like the normal training arc of him going and training with someone. It could be like a mental training arc of changing his
Exactly.
mentality, which could be really cool because I think in a lot of ways, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen can be like a cookie cutter shonen in some aspects, but it's also kind of breaking a lot of those
Yeah.
conceptions. And I think if they do, if a mental training arc does come from this series, it could really kind of change the feel of like, okay, what is it? What is a shonen? What does it mean to be a shonen series?
Right.
Yeah. What else? Do you know how happy I am to see this whole group of people and Nobara not being there? I'm so happy. She's dead. She's gone.
She got ganked.
I mean,
Yeah.
like she, you know, people like to go off the mentality, okay, we didn't see her die. No, we saw her head get fucking exploded. Like, she is dead unless I see a vegetable sitting in a hospital bed. Like,
Yep.
Yeah. There's no way that the soul can be fixed after that shit, dude.
Definitely not.
Yeah. And I'm happy to see Inumaki back too.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Sorry.
it could be fixed, but she just wouldn't have cursed energy anymore, maybe.
Yeah.
But then then what's the point of bringing her back? Like,
Right.
they need.
For wound, you can't heal that sort of wound just
Yeah.
out of nowhere because it is a soul damaging wound. It's not a.
So I do agree. I don't want. This is like the mentality of just coming off finishing Game of Thrones. I don't want a character just to come back. Like, I feel like Nobara's death meant so much for Yuji's character, and him literally saying, "Hey, don't replace her with Hana." Like, that's why I don't like her.
Yeah.
Don't just bring someone back to bring someone back. It completely ruins your story. Like, Jon being brought back in Game of Thrones, like, it completely cops out. But whatever. Yeah, I just don't bring her back.
It's also the same thing when what you said, like it can be a cookie cutter shonen. Like her staying dead, like it is another thing of like it changes the shonen trope because you know there's usually a trio, and they're all fine and they all get their own special moment. It's like no, look. Like it changes it because one of them can actually die and it affects everything.
Right. Death has to have meaning in stories, otherwise it just screws over everything else.
Exactly. I'm trying to think of what else. What do we think will happen next chapter then? Does anyone have any predictions on what will actually happen?
Man, good question. I think we're probably gonna be seeing I think at least if it's not the main focus of the chapter, I think we are going to see either a confrontation or I guess no, it's probably going to be a confrontation with Sukuna and Kenjaku. Because I feel like Sukuna is going to try and get in the way of Kenjaku in order to satisfy his own needs, type of thing. And mostly just because since we were teased with the mummy, I think Kenjaku is gonna just make some stupid, well, not necessarily stupid, but kind of like a big dick move where he's like, "Yo, here's your fucking corpse. I'm gonna kill you now, or something like that. Like we'll see the start of that probably, and then on the other hand, we're gonna see probably the next step of trying to unseal Gojo. For sure within the time span of us, like the time span in between the chapters, like where I'm reading in between the lines where it's gonna be Yuji reads the book and he's gonna gain some new enlightenment about something and find a process to be able to either free Megumin or beat the shit out of Sukuna. So we'll see what happens, I guess. That's my guess.
I'm gonna be in the camp that says that we're gonna see Gojo get unsealed next chapter. I really feel like that's gonna happen, but there's gonna be like, so what is it? I think they're gonna talk about a game plan to take care of Sukuna and Kenjaku that relies heavily on Gojo. They're gonna unseal Gojo, and then Gojo can't do shit.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to panic and figure something else out. So yeah, that's my big thing. Yeah, I don't know what else could actually happen besides that.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean,
What do you think?
I would like to see the start of like a confrontation between Sukuna and Kenjaku, because it has been stated multiple times that Sukuna does not care about even Kenjaku or other people. Like, he's only doing his own stuff.
Right.
And maybe that could cause there's gonna be a rift in this antagonist trio we have going of Sukuna, Kenjaku, and Urarame, I think is what her name is. And the start of that rift to form, and maybe that means Sukuna is gonna take a step back and decide he wants Kenjaku dead. And I mean, it could be kind of cool if I guess it also would not make sense for everyone to want to team up with Sukuna to fight Kenjaku, because I think it would be really cool to see Gojo become unsealed, and then he's gonna get filled in and he's gonna realize what's going on. He's like, okay, well, where is Kenjaku? And beeline it to Kenjaku, and maybe it could be like we could get a cool fight somewhat of Sukuna and Kenjaku teaming up, like Sukuna and Kenjaku start fighting and Gojo beelines it to them and joins in. It's kind of like a three-way fight, but somewhat of teammates.
Would be really cool. I would love to see that. Like the top 3 strongest characters
just going at it,
smacking on each other.
Well,
yeah.
Because like I would love to see like with Gojo knowing it's not Suguru Geto, but thinking, hey, maybe he's only going to be able to use curse manipulation. Oh wait, no, he's got gravity. He's got all this. I just want to see Kenjaku bust out these other techniques he's been saving for thousands of years. Like,
right. Just going whole ham.
Yeah.
Uzumaki's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I also really want to see. I would really also like to see, even if it's not the them a rift forming, I think would be really good also to kind of Sukuna to get his mummified body, use it in some way, and then that could be a way to start explaining, okay, what he meant in Shibuya by I'm opening the box. Kind of what does Malevolent Shrine actually mean? Like, is it he can take other techniques if they believe in some sort of deity? I think I'd really like an explanation of that, because that's been left unanswered for basically like 130 chapters. So
pretty much, yeah.
And it's something that I thought was I was really hoping would be somewhat, because I'm like, oh, why does he have fire technique now? Like, I just want to see, like, okay, I know they stated it, but just Malevolent Shrine is his technique, not cleave and dismantle. He just favors that one.
Right.
But yeah. Oh.
That would be really cool, actually, to see a confrontation between them. I do agree that I think that Sukuna actually is just going to try to mess with him and just try to end the entire game.
Yeah.
And it's just like, God damn it, this is not what I need right now.
Dude, this dynamic actually, now that I think about it, I like as a storytelling device where there's like two main antagonists. Okay, this is something that's mostly just because my friends here were obsessed about it, but the whole three antagonists for the Puss in Boots movie, like I find that so fascinating, and it's interesting how well it works in media, and specifically in Jujutsu Kaisen. I just love it. I love that they are getting in each other's way, and it's not just like they're both equally powerful, but because of that, it prevents the main villain from just perfectly completing it. Like it's this dynamic where the main villain is super powerful, and they can be super powerful, but so is this other main villain, and thus the main protagonist isn't just completely screwed in the story. I think it's fascinating, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's really good. It creates so much. What is it? What's the right word that I'm trying to find? What is it? It makes it so that the story isn't as fluid, but like in a good way. Because
Yes.
you consistently think like, okay, well, there's also this other factor that we need to see. What are they gonna do?
Right.
It's really fun.
It's like creating divisions in a river, like it's flowing, but
Yeah,
then like a rock is there and it splits the river in two. Well, is the river going to come back together, or is it going to split again? That kind of thing.
yeah. Also, I really like that the mummy at the first chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen
Is
was
bad, yeah.
Sukuna.
Like finally confirmed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there's one more thing I was gonna.
What are you gonna say? Oh yeah, I love that they had to. I talked about this also before we recorded the podcast, but they had to find an excuse for Takaba to not be helpful or not be useful in the fight with Sukuna, because Takaba can destroy everyone.
Right.
Yeah, I think
It's just like-
yeah.
I think it helped that Takaba was nearby, even though that he didn't do anything. Oh wait, now that I'm thinking about it, because I was thinking like, why is Amaya in so much damage right now? I was like, oh, it's probably because he got hit by the lightning.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'd also like to see his technique too. I think it'd be pretty fun to see.
Yeah. I hope that he still stays in, but I don't think that he will be after he had this whole monologue about how he always felt weak.
Right.
And then Yuji's like, I don't really give a crap, but thank you for saving Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that exchange was pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about how Yuji can still fight because he's now a cursed object.
Yeah, which is also interesting. Sorry, side note, we did just kind of gloss over that. That's kind of important.
We can talk about it now.
Because there are always so many theories like, can Yuji fight anymore? And it's like, okay, so he still can use cursed energy.
Mhm.
It's so interesting reading that like he's a cursed object steeped with his cursed energy.
Right. Then I wonder then if maybe Sukuna was a limiter in terms of his combat potential.
That's true, because we see that Megami could pull cursed energy back from Sukuna when he possessed his body. So that could have been another thing like, well, I'm gonna make this brat have a harder time with his life.
Yeah, no, that's actually really possible. Where Yuji has just been completely limited. Dude, his next Black Flash is gonna. I'm slurring my words. It's gonna be friggin' epic.
I think it'd be kind of
It's true.
cool if
You gotta power up by having Sukuna leave his body. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, well, what if Yuji's known now for hitting Black Flashes? What if and it multiplies your next hit? What if that entire time they thought it was multiplying, but it wasn't? Sukuna was nerfing it, and that's why he had like divergent.
God.
That's why Divergent Fist was a thing. Is because Sukuna was nerfing him behind the scenes.
He was dragging it back.
Yeah,
That's so smart.
And so now that Yuji is free of Sukuna in a sense, he actually his Black Flashes are actually gonna do what a Black Flash is meant to do. And next fight we could actually see that where Yuji coming out and you know, he is good. He puts up a fighting chance in almost every fight he's in, but like not being not being used in a fight like a weapon. He being his own person.
Right.
That would make sense even because of the fight between him and Sukuna, like how he was like breaking buildings and how he was so much faster. It could have been that he was pulling him back in that aspect too.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy thinking about all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm excited now.
Yeah. We didn't even think of this until now. Also, I want to see what Yuta's plan is for saving Megami. I love that Yuta has taken like a head charge as like leader of the group.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
Like, he's
It's like
talking to everyone,
Maki and
trying to
Yuji.
figure out everything.
Or Maki and Yuta, dude. It's like the dynamic duo.
Yeah. I like that they're both just taking a head charge on that, and I like that Kashimo is not interested in this group at all. In the one shot of everyone, he's just looking out the window like, I want to fight him, I want to fight him, I want to fight him.
Yeah.
Yep. It's hilarious.
Because I really want to see Kashimo interact with the rest of the group. In a sense, like, maybe he goes up to Yuji and tries to get, like, he's like, oh, what's the insider scoop? How do I beat Sukuna? Like, how do I kill him? And he's like, bro, we're not trying to kill him.
Clue.
Yeah, I don't know, but we're not trying to kill him. And he's like, whatever.
Well, the issue is that maybe Hikari could have made technically a binding vow for that with Kashimo. So, like, Kashimo does at least need to try to fight Megami Sukuna as a way to fulfill that binding vow. So that could be another stipulation. And then, like, Yuji and Yuta could be like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Come on. What's going on?
And then that could be, like, the leading into the whole group fighting Sukuna and Kenjaku as, like, a premature... They were gonna more of like getting everything ready, and now they're like, oh, well, we can't. We gotta like, that could be like a really cool. The group, Kashimo, Sukuna, and Kenjaku in like a 4-way battle.
Oh my god.
Like they're fighting with, with Kashimo. They're fighting with him and against him at the same time. They're like, okay, like he gets ready to like do a hit on Sukuna. They're like, they pull him, like Yuji goes in and hits him with a punch or something to like stop him or for a second, and then they go in and then he goes and helps, like what, like something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be so interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I really want to see a fight between Kashimo and Sukuna where like Kashimo could defeat like regular Sukuna or like come really close to it. Like beat like cleave and dismantle, but it literally is just like Megami's technique is what overpowers him.
Right.
Because I feel like that'd be a really satisfying way to give Kashimo his ending. Because he's always just like, I want to fight Sukuna, I want to fight Sukuna. So like make it in a really satisfying way.
Yeah.
And also we still haven't seen his maximum technique.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it could destroy everyone.
It's like another black hole.
That's what kills Kenjaku in that 3-way fight.
Oh, and that
like,
could be
Sukuna miss me with that shit.
Well, it could be fun to see. Okay, so hear me out. In that kind of big group battle, he wants to use his technique on Sukuna, and it could kill Sukuna potentially. Something happens and it hits, and he's the one that kills or really damages Kenjaku. He made a binding vow, or I'm assuming it would have potentially been a binding vow to only use his technique on Sukuna. And I want to see, we've never really seen the consequences of breaking a binding vow.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Just like what actually happens with that.
I wonder.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man, there's so much stuff that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of paths moving forward.
Yeah. We still need someone to fight the ice dude, like Urarame.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's done that yet. I want to see Maki just be like, "Hey, you froze my ass."
Yeah, I think
this.
Maki versus her would be a fun fight. It's like
Splits
a rematch.
their soul in half.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be perfect.
Oh, I also
There's
wonder
so
for with Maki, I wonder if there's gonna be any other cursed tools that we'll see her use.
Because that's what we've
There's
talked.
that big theory with the inverted spear of heaven,
Like a
because there's
piece
like
of
one
it.
chunk. Yeah, that's
Right.
gone. And they still have that one dude that can still make cursed tools, so maybe he takes that blade and he actually makes a spear for Maki, because you know how she had that, what is it? What's the name of the
Yeah.
weapon that she had before that she ended up breaking?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. But I know
Oh,
what you're talking
the
about.
one that like releases like cursed energy in a blast. The sword.
No, not the sword. The one that like during the exchange event that she broke in half and threw at Miwa.
Oh, the spear thing. I think it's a
Yeah.
it's a glaive. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like making an inverted spear of heaven, but it's an actual spear instead of just the dagger.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That would
what
be
I think
pretty
would be
cool.
really fun to see.
Well, because I also would really like to see, you know, if we do get like a forearm Sukuna, I want to see him get that spear we've seen him with. I know that's probably not the inverted spear of heaven, but something. I also
A
really,
spear.
yeah, I would really like to see Maki get an arsenal, because that's like the one disadvantage she has against Toji is she really only has the soul splitting sword.
Right.
She needs.
I mean,
like,
it's a strong weapon.
It's strong, but like
she
it's not
needs
gonna
more.
work in every situation.
Yeah. I just want what is it? The cloud, playful cloud back.
Yeah.
Maki
yeah.
with playful cloud would be so devastating now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it like with like actual sorcerers using it, but now like an actual fully like a heavenly restriction.
I would love, like, if we're saying, like, with Yuji getting this amp and, like, they're back at Jujutsu High, that they find, like, because, like, what is it, the tomb of the Star Corridor is, like, all broken apart and stuff, but hopefully if there's items still there, maybe there's a cursed object that's, like, an infinite bag that can just
it's just
let
like a
her
bag
have
of
any
holding?
weapon. Yeah.
To replace
That's
the
what I was
worm.
hoping.
Yeah.
And just fill up the arsenal. I mean, like, maybe the Zenin arsenal is still free for her to use.
I would
so she
assume
could grab
yes.
something from that.
Who's gonna stop her from going in and
yeah.
grabbing stuff?
Everyone's dead.
Exactly. And anyone that tries to approach her besides Kenjaku or Sukuna is probably gonna die, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we got a lot where stuff could go, and I think it'd be really fun to see. Maybe not. I know not everyone uses like a martial weapon in the group, but maybe everyone getting some sort of item that could benefit their curse technique. Like Inumaki maybe getting another megaphone.
Usually
he
getting
needs
some
an
like
arm
brass
first.
knuckles.
Yeah, like okay, hear me out. Like Akari gets a cursed object that is like in like dice imbued with cursed energy, and he can like roll them, and whatever he gets can like amplify or multiply like a black flash his cursed energy or something like that.
Like say what is it, he rolls dice and he gets like two of the same number and it's like an even number, he gets reverse curse technique for a moment.
Yeah, something like that, where depending on what he rolls he gets or something
Yeah.
like that would be really cool. And then maybe Miwa, I don't know, gets something useful, or she's just there.
She's just there.
She will just be there.
But yeah, no, I think I think it'd be cool because Yucha's always known for just having just like a regular like katana. I guess I don't know if it is like an actual cursed object one, but it'd be cool to see him get something that would.
He got that glove in that fight between Uro and Ishigori.
But like I would want to see him have like a katana or some sort of weapon that is like a cursed object that's imbued to like benefit and kind of like just like I'd like to see each people get some sort of item that would benefit and buff them, like Yuji getting imbued brass knuckles, or like I think it'd be even though he's more like Eastern martial arts stuff, just getting like cursed energy imbued boxing gloves or something.
That'd be sick.
Or not, like maybe like the ones they wear for like UFC and stuff, where it's like they still like can move their hands and stuff like that, but
like getting wraps for his hands,
like a wrap or something.
Imbued.
But I think something where each person could get something that would help them. Also, I'd love to see, because her brother's here, I'd love to see where Mei Mei is. Right? I wonder if she's still like out of the country.
I think that she still is.
Or if she's she's motivated to come back by money or something, but I'd like to see her come back.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
This is also just another small detail that I noticed, but I think they ran out of Yuji's uniform. He's wearing a regular black hoodie now.
Yeah, he always rips his up no matter what he does.
Yeah, he's gone through so many of them that he just doesn't have any anymore.
That's funny.
Kind of fun to see, maybe just, I guess, like a uniform change a little bit.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that with the wraps. Like, it'd be fun to see Yuji get a redesign.
That's true. That's true.
Because we got it for Maki, and of course we got it for Yuta a while back.
Well, it's like
but,
Maki's
so
not wearing
now.
her kind of normal, like, tank top looking stuff now. It looks like she's wearing, like, a collared, some sort of
She
collared
looks
shirt.
professional.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm assuming that she has 2 different outfits, one for fighting and then one for not.
I wanted to bring back the cape. I love the cape cloak thing she's got. It's such yeah.
It's cool, but to me it's just like
it is like the chick from
Red Wolf.
Yeah, and she's not capes. I get it's useless, but like the scenes of her, like the panels of her wearing it are really cool.
That's true.
So just like a cool factor.
Yeah.
Because also like this could give this like encounter with Megumi becoming Sukuna or Sukuna taking over Megumi's body could be that like kind of like negative emotion stuff that Yuji needs to develop more cursed energy.
Yeah.
They've said, and you know, Yuta's like the prime example of like your self-loathing and like how you think your negative thoughts turn to cursed energy. That's why Yuta's like a bottomless well basically of cursed energy. So
because he wanted to kill himself for the past 5 years.
But yeah, that would be really fun.
Tried multiple times.
But it would be fun to see like that's what they're like they notice something like again that Bleach spiritual pressure-esque kind of idea of like you being able to sense someone's aura and stuff. Like maybe Sukuna, he's like, hey kid, you like brat, you've improved since last time we fought.
Yeah.
I don't ever think that Sukuna would give Yuji a compliment like ever.
Probably not, but we can pray, or maybe Kenjaku says something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kenjaku would probably be the one.
Well, because I think he's real. I think it'd also be cool to kind of that I said that like mental training arc. It would be cool to see it happen not out like during a fight, and Kenjaku and Yuji have to 1v1, and Kenjaku's kind of just like playing with him and being like, son, like, and that's kind of like, even though we already know, but that's like the reveal of like Kenjaku revealing, hey, you're basically my son and stuff. So I mean, I think he might kind of know already, but
yeah,
Yuji fully reeling, and that's how he gets his mental training arc and buff.
Yeah. We still need to see Yuta versus Kenjaku.
Yeah.
No. It's still set up on the books.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is like a binding vow, but
Listen, dude, I think that Yuta could still pull out a couple stops.
I think he's got a good chance, but it'll be.
They both can like kind of copy curse techniques.
It'd be cool to see.
Imagine like he tries to hit Yuta with the gravity, and then it's just like I have infinite void.
Yeah, he's like Uro's ability or something.
Or like Gojo's.
You think he
got a hair Gojo? Dude, I'm sure that he could have. What is it? Not like a red reversal or like Azure Blue, but what? Just the infinity.
Oh, like using something like that.
Yeah.
I would really like to see how many curse techniques Yuta has copied, and it'd be really cool if it is like, I mean, they've kind of said, but if it is like him having to consume a part of that person, consuming part of Kenjaku, like consuming a hair, and then he doesn't get Kenjaku's technique, he gets Geto's. Or I think so they can understand Sukuna's technique or what the box means, he consumes a hair on Sukuna. Or
maybe even Yuji, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe he does have it.
But yeah, no, I think we've been rambling a little bit, kind of building on stuff, but yeah.
But it's fun.
I don't know, do you guys have any more closing thoughts?
Exciting.
I guess? Or any more thoughts to add?
I'm just hyped, man. I'm hyped as fuck.
Me too. I think that I'm very excited to see what happens next chapter.
And is next week? I don't know. I don't think next week's a break week.
No,
don't
no,
get
we
a
get
big
another
week.
chapter.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I think after that, I don't know when Golden Week is, but I think it will be after that one.
I believe Golden Week is coming up soon, so
Yeah.
we'll have something else planned that week. So
Yeah. But very exciting. I can't wait to see Gojo get unsealed, and then he'll be like 50 years old, and he'll be like.
that would be cool if it just like aged him up.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right.
He said that time's different in it, so.
Right.
Or it'd be cool. Hear me out. It ages him down, so he's like teenage Gojo.
He's a little baby.
I was just saying like
That, yeah.
yeah, that would be cool too.
5-year-old Gojo. That'd be hilarious.
That has like an automatic infinite void going would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right then. I think this is a perfect place.
This is a perfect place to close.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's Jumpcast. We really appreciate everyone listening.
Yeah.
All right.